welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Microsoft Surface Duo 2 and why you should probably buy one of them and not the other one. And that's what we're here to talk about today in this video. But before we get started, I do want to point out that I got a fancy haircut and I trimmed up the beard today. So it's nothing quite like making you feel like $1 million, like getting your hair cut every once in a while. I wasn't able to do it for the holidays, so if you've noticed that I've looked exceptionally shaggy the last week in my videos, that's why. I've also probably put on 5 pounds from Thanksgiving food, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so we're going to talk about these two phones. I get asked a lot. A lot of people are like, hey dude, which is better, the Z Fold 3 or the Surface Duo 2? This is not a video about which is better, because better is very subjective. This is about why I think you should probably get the Z Fold 3 instead of the Surface Duo 2. Not because it's better, but because it's probably better for you. And that's the moral of the story here, because they both offer a lot. They both have the same processor. I mean, so they have equal footing, Snapdragon 888. They've got plenty of RAM. They've got high-powered, high-quality displays. But they go about doing things a little bit different. And the biggest thing is, I think, the long-term support. I think the S Pen, I think also more people are able to get one affordably because there have been so many deals. You could get one of these, I think, for less than $1,000 with some trade-in stuff here recently. No price drops on the Surface Duo 2. And by and large, I think the uniform display, even though it has a crease, for more people is probably more palatable. And you also get the exterior screen. So, I mean, there's a lot I want to unpack here. And this is not a snub to the Surface Duo 2 at all. Actually, for me personally, I kind of like it better than the Z Fold 3. But as far as for most people, I think the Z Fold 3 is probably going to be the better device to pick up. And for kind of those reasons I mentioned. Price, availability, long-term support. I like the S Pen better than I like the Surface Pen Slim. There's just kind of a lot of stuff there. And it makes it a better value. It makes it a better long-term purchase. And it's not necessarily down to, okay, one screen versus two screens. It's just really hard for me to go and say, okay, yeah, you should go spend $14.99 on a phone that has had questionable support for the last device, that I don't think is 100% in its final form with the product yet, that is not going to be supported probably for 4 or 5 years, and not going to get at least 3 operating system updates. And it's harder to protect, it's less ergonomic, and it still doesn't have an exterior screen. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that keep it from being a mainstream device. Does that mean this isn't a great device? No, it is a fantastic device. I love it, I use it all the time. It honestly has my SIM card in it more than this one does. So for me, having both of them, I gravitate more towards the Surface Duo 2. But for most people who don't specifically want the Surface Duo 2. And this is probably the crux of the entire argument. If you know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, you want the Surface Duo 2, go buy it. I don't want to dissuade you from doing that. It is a very good device. It will serve you well. You will probably be very happy with it. But a lot of people don't know they want the Surface Duo 2. And they know that, okay, I like the Fold 3. I like the Surface Duo 2. I have questions here. I have questions here. I have X amount of money. I have one opportunity to purchase this. And I want to make sure I get the right one. And for most people, that's going to be this guy. One, you're going to appreciate having this exterior screen, because whenever it comes to the Surface Duo 2, you don't get that. At best, you get a small little notification edge right here on the corner of the screen. Let you know if you got a message or phone call, battery life, whatever. It's not really a lot going on there. It's really pales in comparison whenever you look at a fully functional, actually pretty large, nice display that even has 120 Hz refresh rate. Also, you get wireless charging, you get IP68 dust and water resistance. This is a much more protected phone. You could even get the insurance through Samsung if you want. And there's just a lot of stuff there. The financing options, the trade-in stuff, the wide availability. You can go to T-Mobile, you can go to Verizon, you can go to Sprint, you can go to AT&T, and you can get this. And you can trade in something and get a ton of money off of it in most cases, versus you're basically shelling out $1,600 hard cash for the introductory 128 model for this one. The Fold 3, I think, is a better, more appealing device that's going to make a lot of people happy in the consumer market, as opposed to a niched down, more enterprise business focused device. that you're probably not even worried about price. There are people that are like, well, I can't really afford the Duo 2. I don't want to spend that kind of money. Yeah, that's legitimate stuff to think about. And whenever it comes to the viability of the Duo 2, most people that are going to get it, money's not really as much of an option. And it's one of those things where it is expensive, but when you consider that a business is probably picking up the tab as opposed to somebody going to AT&T and financing it, it makes the price make a little bit more sense when it makes not as much sense from a consumer aspect, because it's not a consumer phone. Just like the original BlackBerry was a business professional device, I really feel like that's what the Duo 2 is. That doesn't mean there aren't people like me and you who want to use them. That just means that it's not a mass marketed, consumer appealing, consumer design phone. I mean, you can look at it. You can look at this phone right here. You can look at this and say very comfortably, okay, this phone is not for most consumers. You can look at that. You can understand that just from looking at the price. You can understand that looking at the hardware and the sophistication and the technology. Most people want an iPhone or a Samsung phone, just a regular phone. They don't want this. So, yes, I know it's expensive. I know there are concerns, but a lot of people buying them are business-oriented folks or businesses, or they're using the company card, or they're picking this up for an employee. It's not oh, hey, let's take Timmy down to get his new 3-year contract upgrade phone on AT&T. That's just not what that is. Whereas you enter stage left with the Z Fold 3, it has much more consumer appeal. I think that the Z Fold 3 is a more polished and refined and consumer curb appeal phone. This is one of those phones where even at $17.99, it's really not $17.99. I don't really know a whole lot of people that went out and just used their debit card and said, okay, let me pay $17.99 plus tax for this. There were huge deals from the get-go. If you had a previous phone, you could get this for like $1,000 or $900 or even cheaper than that when it first came out with simple trade-in. So that's how most people got it. That's the way Samsung designed it. Samsung designed this to be a high-end premium phone that does all these great things, and as a dual screen phone, it's a foldable phone, but they made it where it was very, very easy for people to get them. As easy as getting an iPhone, which some people still say that's out of their reach, and I understand this is not a discussion about economics, but it's a talk about carrier availability, about pricing, about trade-ins, and about financing, which is a very, very big staple of the U.S. consumer market when it comes to smartphones. So, very easy to get. Seems to hold up well. I mean, that's one thing. The Z Fold 2 did good. I know there were issues with the original Z Fold, but the Z Fold 2 has a huge upgrade, a huge turnaround improvement, and then capitalizing on that, now we have the S Pen and more refinements, IPX8. There's a lot going on here. It's more protected. I think it is more durable, and I think more resilient and adaptable than ever. And plus, this one screen makes it nice if people want to play Call of Duty, if they want to play their games, they want to use this as this phone right here I like a lot because it's essentially a tablet replacement. I have hardly used my tablet, my Tab S7 Plus, my iPad 2021 Pro, whatever M1 model. Since I got this, it is a game changer. And that's one of the big appeals here. It's like, okay, yes, I know it's $17.99. I'm probably going to be able to get it for $1,000 or less with trade-in, and then it's also going to alleviate the need for me to use a tablet in a lot of instances. So at least people who use them as a normal day-to-day consumer tablet, not as a laptop replacement. That's a whole other story. So I think that this is a better pickup. I think it's a better appeal. I think that as far as day-to-day usage, it more emulates the traditional phone experience and tablet experience that people are looking for, as opposed to the more multitasking, dual screen, doing lots of things at once. I know you can use like 3 active windows on here, but I don't do that basically ever. And I know some people probably do. I know there are people out there that like to use DeX. If you like to use DeX, if you like to use 3 windows, kudos to you for taking full advantage of these things. That's not really how I use my phone. I don't think a lot of people really do. I think more people look at this phone and think, wow, I can use this big screen and I can enjoy using this like basically a tablet on the go. I think more people look at it like that and then go, okay, look, I can't wait to buy that so I can open 3 windows and use DeX. You can do it. Some people do it. That's great for you. I don't think massively across the consumer market that's why people want it. I think this one is a business productivity device on its face, but largely in reality is a very large consumer device that a lot of people really just love. Having this foldable display, being able to consume media, being able to play games, being able to do everything with basically a wow factor and a portable tablet on the go. And then also you can use the front screen, which is very, very serviceable. So yeah, Also, support. Samsung is committed to at least like 3 years of software upgrades now, and I think they're pushing more towards 4 and 5 years. That's where the market is going. And you look at the slow adoptability and what has happened with the original Surface Duo. It doesn't even have Android 11 yet, and they said it was going to be here by the end of the year, which we have 1 month left now. Then you look at the Duo 2, comes with Android 11, not Android 12. We don't know when we're going to get Android 12, and this phone will probably never see Android 13. If it does, okay, great, but when? 2025? So the track record with Samsung, their commitment to security updates, their commitment to software updates, and look at what they've done with One UI and trying to refine and make their products better and better and better. The track record, the experience, and what you get with what you pay for, and also the level of liability that you have to worry about. If you bought a Surface Duo 1, you know what I'm talking about with the level of liability, because you paid $1,500 for a device that's now worth $400 and hasn't really been supported all that well since it's come out. So it leaves a bad taste in your mouth wanting to go spend $14.99 plus tax for this when you could go get this. So simply put, I'm saying, if you're interested in the Surface Duo 2, that's great. I like it. I think it has applicability. I think that it's a great device. I gravitate towards it. And in most cases, I'm carrying it around as my second phone. I think it's a great secondary phone. The Z Fold 3, I think, is a much more viable single-use phone, whereas you don't carry 2 phones, just because it's so much easier, and it's not like, oh, I need to use a watch, or I need to use a set of earbuds so I can answer my phone calls or see my notifications without having to open up the screen. So there's a lot there. Don't come after me for this. I love the Duo 2. It's a great phone. I think it's a great, perfect device for a lot of people that are interested in it. But this one is for the people out there on the fence going, okay, I see both of these. I like the idea. I want something like this. Which one should I get? And I really, from a responsible position of education, using both of these on a regular, sometimes semi-daily basis or daily basis, have to say that this one is better for most consumers. And you'll probably be happy with that. And that's probably the answer that you're looking for. So that's all I've got in this video. I know a little bit different, but I wanted to try and tackle this in a meaningful way because I get asked this question all the time, and a lot of people are like, which one is better? Like, no. This is not an issue of better, because they're both almost identically capable, hardware-wise. It is which one is better for you, and which one should you spend your money on. And that's what I wanted to try and address here. Hopefully I did that. Hopefully I pointed you in the right direction, and you can make your informed decision if you want to buy one. Now, that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.